Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend, where we are now in the engine phase. For real, like deep in the engine phase. It is time to make this number go up. So we are at 8% of the economic victory. We are gaining roughly 1% per turn, right? Unfortunately, 1% per turn is really not fast enough. Somehow, I doubt that the AI is going to give us until turn 180. So, how do we fix this? How do we get even faster? Well, there's a couple of very important things we can yet do. First of all, obviously, we got to keep pushing up to these buildings, and maybe eventually Dust-Driven Distillery. I'm not actually sure how the timing on that's going to work out. It may take us too long to get here for it to be terribly useful. But we got to get up to Improved Dust Alchemies and Town Criers at least, and so Imperial funding is important. We also need to get Highway Outposts going. Highway Outposts will both increase the amount of money that each city is making from the trade route it's already running, plus it will allow each city to run a second trade route. That's obviously a lot more cash that we're talking about there. Then once we get up into this era, we'll also want to install Enlightened Trade. We don't necessarily need the science bonus from our trade routes, although, you know what? It is a significant amount of our overall science. Maybe never mind that I said that part. Science is good, and the science from our trade routes is good, but also it allows yet another trade route coming out of each city. Very valuable. Let's talk about the trade routes, actually, since we're already doing that. You can see here, we're running trade from most of our cities to the city of Herkuf. You get one trade route out of each city, and then a second trade route out of the capital, for reasons I'm not 100% clear on. I'm not sure why, because the capital doesn't have a building that allows that, does it? Does the capital just normally get an extra trade route? This doesn't allow one. Yep, +1 trade route max from the palace. Okay. Well, that's cool. So most of our trade routes are running to the city of Herkuf, because trade routes, the value of a trade route is composed of two things. It's based on the trade route value of each of the two cities at the ends, and also the distance the trade route travels. So Herkuf is just their biggest, most valuable city, but you can see, like, Malantar is running its trade route to Chadun instead, because the distance there makes that valuable. You don't have to do anything here. The AI, first of all, you can't, but secondly, the AI figures out what the valuable trade routes are. It runs the most valuable ones you have access to. But you'll notice we're running so many trade routes to the same city because any number of docks, as long as you have a dock and the enemy and the person you're trading with has a dock, you can run an infinite number of trade routes through the dock. The dock is just like it's a road. The dock creates a road that goes over the sea, basically, and as many trade routes as you want can run through that. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about things we still can get to increase our dust value. We do need to get our advanced harvester up, because the hydromiel is certainly a real resource that we actually care about. It's not as exciting as dust water or anything, but it's still good. Another thing that we could use is public works. But here's the problem with this. Well, what we need is to run that great big empire plan, right? We want to be able to do this, ideally. If we can get to 4,400, it's great, but remember, we're only going to have one more empire plan before the game is meaningfully over, right? At turn 100, we get to set an empire plan in, and then if we even get to turn 120, we probably won't get very much past it. So the empire plan at 120 is pretty unimportant. So if we're gonna get this, we got to get it right now. So how do we do this? I would be willing to take, if we can get this to happen, I would be willing to just take the 4,400 plan. Obviously, I would very much prefer, at the very least, to have this. The other building cost reduction would also be good. But, like, is it reasonable for us to get to 5,280 at all? We're talking about 4,500 influence earned over the next 12 turns. So we need to be producing over 400, 400-ish, a little bit less than 400, right? I can't math right now. Listen, it's early in the morning, and I'm full of Thanksgiving leftovers, and my brain it's operating at like 60%. Good, real good leftovers, though. What was I doing? 4,500 influence over the next 12 turns is going to require a pretty sharp increase. If we're going to get good benefit out of Public Works, we got to get Public Works next at the very latest, and maybe we should actually hold off Highway Outposts. Yeah, if we're going to take advantage of this, we got to do it now. We're going to have to buy some Public Works out the moment we can, because we got to get them installed. However, it is worth noting that they'll actually be the National Museums, will be actually pretty good for us, because we have a lot of districts already. And we could potentially turn one of our cities into an influence generator. We have a couple of cultist lords. That's not the button I wanted. We have a couple of cultist lords who are through their first skill point. So we have a couple of cities that are already on 3 influence per population point. That's going to be the best we have access to. Do we only have the one cultist? Huh, I thought I remembered us having more. Well, whatever. So this guy, we could move him to a populous city, and his city could become the place, right? Because we're getting one influence per population from his skill. We have a lot of Glory of Empire buildings up, and those give 1 influence per population working influence. So with a National Museum, that would mean that the city we end up putting him in would be producing 6 influence per population point. It might not be necessary. Especially if we're able to get the National Arena up in a city that's producing a good amount of influence already, which is like, yeah, the capital, because of the Draken, is producing quite a lot, so... Yeah, if we just put a National Museum here, it'll probably solve the problem by itself. Okay. Public Works, yeah, I think this is good. We're going to not move anybody over to influence for the moment, though, because I really want to... If we did move people over, 309, so we'd get an extra 100 influence over the next 2 turns at the cost of 600 dust over the next 2 turns. Unfortunately, you cannot really use dust to buy influence directly, but we can use dust to buy the National Arena and everything. Yeah, I'm going to stick to dust for now. We're going to make it work. It's going to be okay. Alright, so what else needs to happen this turn with our 2.2k remaining dust before we press the button? And also, is there anything else that we need from others? So actually, since we're running a bunch of trade routes with you, a commercial agreement would be handy. And a research agreement wouldn't be terrible either. Can we make this happen? So you notice, no cost on these terms for us, but unfortunately, there is something of a cost in terms of them not being willing to give me what I need here. You know, I'm willing to cough up endless mechanisms in exchange for this. Plus 1% per turn, up to 20%. And it's a significant amount of dust. And almost all of our trade routes are with them. This would be really good. 118 is not a bad cost for this agreement, I think. Now, obviously, if they just go and break the agreement by Cold Warring us again, I will be very sad. Man, I really don't want to have to spend influence on making friends with Pink, then. 5 turns until the truce wears off? Yeah. Yeah, I don't love it. So I don't think we've been making trade or research agreements at all over the course of the 70 or so episodes of this series. They are valuable if you can get one really good trading partner. They are totally worthwhile. It's just a matter of getting the AI to actually be friendly with you in a situation where also trade with them makes sense, and also they're actually building cargo docks, and, you know, a lot of things have to go right. Okay, they're threatening me about pearls. I'll just chill out on the pearls then. I don't even remember taking any pearls, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, yeah, because I didn't take any pearls from them, but I took pearls from the area near them. That's what they're getting cross about. Okay, there was nothing in that ruin. Awesome. How do we get... Oh man, it's all cliffs. I want to get back in the water. Well, let's get this ruin first. Although I guess getting in the water near blue is maybe a bad idea, because they're going to attack me, right? I feel I feel fairly confident of that. It looks like they're actually suffering some siege damage here. Stuff is happening in this green versus blue war. Alright, so we got a lot of money to work with. Not a lot of important things to build over here. So we gotta buy ourselves some resources for making Imperial funding happen. And Imperial funding is gonna be great here. Lots and lots of exploited tiles. Okay, so I need... It's 25 and 5? Yeah, okay. Time to start tearing through the world's supply. Right, can't do that in this game. Man, there are some things that I really like about Endless Space 2. some small changes they made that are really nice quality of life type stuff. Where else do we need to do things? Before we decide to spend any dust on rushing anything, let's figure out exactly what we're building in all of our cities. Alright, we do need Imperial funding to go up in other places, but also boroughs are generally good. What other cities need to build right now? Actually, not too many, just Chadun and Sondir, in addition to this one. Oh! Ha! Yeah, get that up. That's pretty good. We'll make another decision next turn when Public Works is finished, and we can evaluate things in that context. Okay, you still need one of those. Let's just get that building. Oh yeah, food. Food takes a huge priority. Alright, so I'm not going to stress about getting a bunch of stuff in the queues here. We want everybody to be ready to start building Public Works as soon as it makes sense for them. So this honestly is probably worth rushing. And also it's quite cheap to do so. I think I want to rush through this here as well. It's a little expensive, and I know I want to have bank for next turn so that I can Public Works as many places as possible, as quickly as possible, but also... Also, this is very good. This is very, very good. Okay. I think we don't want to make any other big moves on the economic front just yet. It's just a ruin we haven't searched again yet. 25 glass steel. You know what? Honestly, pretty valuable. We're going to need a lot of glass steel for the next phase of dust buildings as well. Are there any other... there are not any other pearls or unsearched ruins. Oh no, over here. Wow, there's a ton of stuff. What am I talking about? There's none up in this very, very corner area. There's actually a ton of unsearched ruins still. I think it's possible to find... Is it possible to find influence in ruins? You can definitely get quests from ruins that reward influence. I don't know if you can just find raw influence. Okay, and that is a cliff. Yeah, if we wanted to get that, we'd have to go all the way around. Alright, well, we do need to go over here anyway for the ruins. Okay. Alright, let's increase our influence output considerably. We did a good job this game of stepping it up over time, making sure to get all the glory of Empire together and everything. Ooh. Alright, a dust eclipse is going to start soon. That is not super relevant to us. I think we maybe have one of the weakest dust eclipse effects in the game. Oh, what is this now? Okay, open wounds is not a big deal. Green do not... Okay. Red cold ward us. That's not a big deal. I will not give you that. Blue is attacking me over here. Really? You're sending a huge army out to fight green, and you thought this would be a good use of their time. Well, you're a hateful monster, and I pity you. Syria Alastra is getting leveled up. We don't really need Black Marketeer because the empires that we're not at peace with right now don't have docks anyway, as far as I can tell. We are approaching another winter. There's going to be another winter. And protecting her city from the dust loss and the food loss of winter might be better than getting 5% extra dust output. But honestly, only maybe. A lot of our The only dust reduction we actually get from winter is -1 dust on each dust tile. But the number of dust tiles that are being worked by that city is probably not enough. Like, we're getting so much of our dust from buildings and stuff. This is probably a greater increase to our dust during the winter anyway. Alright, well, here, obviously, we just die. If I retreat, we will die because we have so little health, so I'm gonna fight instead. Yeah, get him. I might have done some damage. It looks like that Berdecki's not quite at full health anymore. Just spiteful. Spiteful creatures they are. Alright. Find the treasure in those ruins to get some Titan bones. I am all about that. I am extremely here for that result. 150 dust. Alright. So is that all of my units? No, you have, Ah, shoot. Well, let's fight random quest armies that are in my way. These aren't even armies for my quests. I'm done with you. Also, this is free XP. I'm just gonna auto. We don't need to manually resolve that. Hey, look at that, like 6 XP for each of those heroes. Okay, so let's talk about all of these buildings. Where do we need it most? It's going to be most effective in the cities that have the largest number of districts. So let's start there. It is going to cost 5 Adamantium and 5 Palladium for each one, plus a buyout cost of, oh, a mere 751. Okay, well, it looks to me like we may have a National Museum up in as many cities as we can afford to buy resources for here. So we'll buy them in 10s because the cost increases at the end of every transaction. It does not step up during the transaction, so if you know you're going to use at least 10, you should get 10. You know what else I need to do, actually? I need to make sure that I can make the National Arena happen. And it should be this city, really. Because I don't want to devote anybody to influence if I don't have to, and I think I won't have to. Let's go ahead and buy... I'm going to buy 10 titanium too. I'm sure we will find a good use for it. Why do I have such a hard time seeing this building? It's like, I know that it's in there. Alright. That one's important. Next most districted city is... We have a lot of like 3s and 2s and stuff here. I gotta keep building out my districts. Give me another 10 Palladium. I may have oversaved. Possible that we didn't actually need this much money. And then, like, Miranlar has 3 districts. That'll be good. Yeah, so in a lot of cases, we're increasing the influence output of our cities by a significant percentage already here. Get another 10 Palladium. And that's without even devoting anybody to influence. But we're going to have a massively improved ability to devote people to influence. And then, like... Work burrows, right? There is another curiosity. Get it. That is a source of Hyperium that we do not have an extractor on. If we can get enough pearls together, this is probably a pretty good place to build a strategic intensifier then. Therat is only managing to stay happy, so actually, as much as I love get more anomalies, maybe the play is we gotta build a little bit more toward actually leveling our districts up. Yeah, probably. Okay, well this is a better build then, even though it gets us fewer points of total resources. We gotta improve approval. Hold on, let's not spend any dust on buying districts just yet. I'm going to make sure that we are museuming everywhere we can. Okay, so Geneldas. Okay, Avrama still has more than one district. That'll be good there. And then Janaldas and Chadun still aren't doing it. And we have enough money to make it work. Okay, we gotta buy 10 of these and 1 of those. Yeah, this is a pretty sharp increase in our total amount of influence gained. Alright, and then we need just like districts in a lot of places. Does it particularly matter where we build this district? Not really. We should probably build toward the exotics, I suppose. We have 1.2k left, so we could rush a district or two. You already have a district in the queue, but we could make that happen faster. And I think there's enough food here to build another one after this, so we may as well. What do you have going on? You're working a district right now. Oh, yes, Dust Dredger. We should probably get that going. Man, we still need so many different buildings in so many different places. Here, the next thing we would want to get working on is Imperial funding. Can we make that happen this turn? Alright, we can make it start, at least. We can put it in the queue. Now, granted, we're already getting rollover in all these cities. It's not, like, totally vital that I get stuff started now, because if we put this in the queue next turn, it would still get all this rollover. I'm not saving any influence by doing this or anything, or industry, rather. What I am doing is saving myself a little bit of an organizational headache, having to go through each of these cities next turn. We can do a little bit of this work now. That's definitely what we're grabbing there. Okay, and remember, we want to be able to start building the caravanserais as quickly as possible once those are available, so it's important to get stuff done quickly. Alright, so we go from 268 to 437, but it's a few turns later. Is 437 going to be enough now? 464 even. We have 9 turns left, during which we may generate influence. How are we going to take... How are we going to make this work? How are we going to make the math on this good? Also, I guess I don't really know what I want to do with this guy yet. My first inkling is get on land and take advantage of the dust eclipse with the ruins, but also, he does have some Titan bones to go and fetch, and also, the UI for the game has frozen completely. There we go. There we go. I'm going to just zoom all the way out so it doesn't have to render quite so much stuff for a second here. Having as much vision as we have appears to be affecting the game, even at 6 players. Okay, you're just building toward Inspirational Leader. We're starting to get to the good hero skills now. Yeah, that's right. We were working toward Inspirational Leader here. I don't know that we'll necessarily get there in time, but we don't really need Cultural Ambassador in the capital. The capital has approval under control for the moment, I believe. Alright, lots and lots of places to build stuff. Capital just keeps building out. Big part of the reason the capital has approval under control is because of all of these level 2 districts. Now, one thing I really like about the Caravanserai is that it does not require any strategic resources to build. So we're gonna be able to put those in pretty quickly everywhere without having to save up quite as much dust. Oh, the Reliquary. We do want one of these, don't we? 45 of each of the high-level strategics. Somebody pointed out to me that we would probably want to have a reliquary in one of the previous, in the episode, the comments of the previous episode. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then as soon as I started recording, I completely forgot about it. So it looks like we can't put it together this turn. We can buy all of the Hyperium on the market and enough Mithrite, but we'll still be a little bit short. We are bringing in 1 Hyperium per turn. Alright, hold on. Let's work out our influence. I'm going to leave Hellcrest unbuilding for a moment here. We can get everywhere else going, and then I'm going to work out my influence and see how much we can afford to spend on trade. Okay, we can certainly make this happen. And, you know, I'm just going to buy 10 titanium. I'm sure I'll go through it all. We'll work out how much influence we have for trade and then see if we can't maybe trade a little bit of extra Hyperium off somebody. Here, it definitely just makes sense to go for additional districts. And here we have a lot of the basics, so the only thing that we really want to install... but installing Imperial funding is tricky. Hyperium is the problem resource. Alright, we'll leave Sundir unbuilt as well. Let's figure out influence. So, as it stands right now, 464 influence 9 times before the Empire plan is going to leave us in the neighborhood of, that's 36, well, it's, hold on, 464 9 times is 3,600 plus 540, so that's about 4,100 influence right there. Plus the 1.4 that we have puts us at about 55. That's enough for this Empire plan. Not quite enough for this one. So we have to decide, am I going for this Empire plan, meaning I have 200 and something influence with which to make deals? Or am I going for this Empire plan, meaning that I need to drag some people off dust? The building cost reduction is considerable. It's going to be dust, right? We're not going to build a lot of stuff in the traditional sense anymore. It's going to be a lot of rushing going on. I don't think that this second tier of science and industry is that important. Can we make the trade right now? If we have 200 influence to play with, can we trade 10 Hyperium off of somebody? Well, we could just buy it off of her with dust. Give her tech, but the tech is both something I'm a little nervous about giving her in terms of speeding up. How close is she on science victory? Like, if we look at her total number of researches against Blue's... Okay, Blue is still going to beat her to a tech victory, even if we give her that technology. So that would be easy to do, and it would mean I get to keep my dust for other stuff. However, this is considerably more influence spent than just giving her... It's like 84 more influence than just giving her a bunch of dust. Yeah, but we have a lot of uses for that dust. I'm comfortable with this, and in fact, it looks like we can get all 15 of her Hyperium for that tech. Okay. Now, we go to the market, and we buy ourselves some more Hyperium. And some Mithrite. I'm sure we'll go through it all. And then Hellcraft can start building the Reliquary of Auriga. Now notice, that says 29 turns. That's an unacceptable number of turns. However, we will be able to rush it, maybe even next turn. Let's see, we're going to take about a 30th of that off. So we would, in order to rush it next turn, we'd have to sell some stuff probably, but we maybe could do that. Oh, also, I guess we have ruins yet to search, so we're going to get some money from that as well. You, seriously, quest armies, I am done with you. Be gone. Be gone from my sight. Oh, is there... that's unfortunate. So you can, there's a cliff here, and it makes pathing really weird in this area. You can actually move over cliffs as long as you're moving within a city, but this district is not finished yet. If this was finished, you can always move from a district in a city to another district in that city for one move, I believe. Or for whatever your road move value is. Okay, 10 Mithrite. Remember, we are going to need... Oh, right, I need to search that again. We are going to need a huge amount of Mithrite as soon as we pass over the next era barrier, so it does not... Certainly does not hurt to find more Mithrite now. Do you want those Titan Bones? Speaking of Titan Bones, like, there's a ton of them on the market, right? We could just be running Titan Bones, which we are currently not doing. Oh, and we need approval anyway. Titan Bones. 60. Okay. other luxury resources that we can make good use of. I love the fact that there's tons of dust water on the market. We're going to be able to keep the dust water booster rolling. Gold is of non-zero value. Obviously, the less gold we pay for upkeep, the more gold we have to spend on other things. Moonleaf would be really good to be running. And we're definitely at the part of the game where I'm just like, let's get resources. Let's buy all of the luxuries. Get me to that next era a little bit faster. Honestly, the gold booster probably pays for itself very quickly. Okay, 7.1k coming in on this next turn. That's pretty good. You get a movement buff, back off, and get this temple. Okay, this is a normal ruin, so I only get to search it once. I gotta make sure I don't move away before double searching any temples that need to get double searched. Also normal ruins, okay. Alright, so it's not quite so important for this guy to go get the Titan Bones then, since we just fired a Titan Bones booster. So I'm gonna try to get back on land. Fortunately, it no longer costs you all of your movement to disembark or embark if you're using a dock as the tile that you do the changeover into or from. So we can get up here and actually search this. And with that, we still don't actually have a move for Sondir, but we could just buy enough stuff to get the Imperial funding going. That's probably... oof. Boy, that's expensive. That's very expensive. Can we actually do this? Hold on. Yeah, okay. We can just barely get you started on that. Alright. Important stuff being built everywhere. Maybe not important. Stuff that has value being built everywhere. We're increasing our Hyperium mining rate. That's important. We probably should be building some extractors and stuff, but you know what? My resources are stretched very thin right now. I can't necessarily just rush everything I want to rush. Alright, so we can leave this. This search will be available later. I want to get to the Eclipsed search over here as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, that's quite a distance. Feeds on bones, you got to get up here to the important stuff as quickly as possible. Caravanserais everywhere. And then, yeah, burrows. Also burrows everywhere. Although, you know, making sure that we're leveling up is less important now, because we have so many boosters running, and we're going to continue to have so many boosters running. So I'm actually going to move up here and get the two anomalies. It is probably not the case that we will ever be low on boosters again. Alright, we'll go grab this thing. It'll speed us around a little bit. Now, I know it may not seem like we're actually gaining a lot of dust output per turn, but we are making some important movements here. And actually, that number is going to shoot up a little bit on this next turn, once we've got the Caravanserais everywhere. So, 8643. We want to try to leave ourselves with enough dust that we can rush the Reliquary next turn. Building it right here, so I'm going to need 2 more districts to make it totally work, or to level it up. It's going to be quite a bit of extra dust if we do that. You know what? I should have built it here. I don't know what I was thinking. Building it here would mean that it's already surrounded by 3 districts. Well, how expensive is it to buy the Abbey of Anomalies? 20 to buy, 10 to build. If we manage to get to 30 pearls, we could Abbey of Anomalies the Lava Geyser, and that would be one of the 4 necessary for this. It already has a bunch of industry into it. I kind of don't want to... Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's gonna work out. You Probably run this way. It's definitely an error. But I think it's... ooh, 25 titanium is actually, like, pretty welcome. There are definitely games where I've been like, oh, what am I getting first level strategics for at this point? This is not one of those games. I need that. That definitely saved us some money. Also, I love movement conflux with endless mechanisms. It's just so much movement speed. Alright, we're gonna go through all of our cities in a second here. Alright, 220 dust. You somehow still have movement left. Alright, we'll go get that. Alright, what are the other things that we would benefit from here? We need 3 more technologies. They don't necessarily have to be in this era, and remember, they'll actually be cheaper if they're in eras we've already completed. So one thing that I know we still need is this. Tier 2 glass steel accessories will give us access to the dust trinket on our heroes. A lot of heroes are going to be losing the roads of dust, and instead getting the trinket that makes your dust producing peoples produce more dust. And then... maybe stockpile tech? We could pick up both of the stockpile techs and start buying like food stockpiles and whatnot off of the... oh, there aren't any. The other players have been diligent. It's gonna be kind of hard to... yeah, never mind. We're not going to be able to see the records of that because I've been buying too much garbage. Look how long these are. So then maybe the stockpile tech is not actually valuable because I don't want to spend a lot of time building stockpiles. Maybe what we should get is science tech. Statistical methods is pretty good. Fluid biomechanics is alright. We have a couple of places where a hydromatic laboratory would matter. Could we get anything else that would be more meaningful? We could get industry boosters. Oh, yes, the hydromiel extractors. Yes, we still need that. Okay. Those are our 3 techs. Alright, caravanserais for everyone. Sorry, it may not be for everyone right at this moment. Like, how much dust do I have to leave over? We need 8643 minus about a 20th of that, so like 82-ish, let's say. We're gonna make 7.2, so I want to leave 1,000 in the bank. And we can go ahead and rough math it, because if it doesn't quite work out, we have ways of... we can sell stuff, and we'll make up the difference if it turns out to be wrong. As long as it's only wrong by a little bit. So we gotta... I'm trying to pick cities that are larger and more productive, and also that are a little bit more internal to our empire, so that the road out of them is as long as possible. I guess let's stop buying out there, but I do want to see a caravanserai in everybody's production queue at least. Here we can let the borough finish. Okay. Let's see that dust value go up. And again, I'm never sure how things work out if it gathers all the resources before the build queues finish, or if the build queues finish first, so... it looks like the build queues finish first, and then you get your resource income, because we got the dust before the caravanserais increased the amount we're getting from our trade routes, it looks like. Okay. Okay, Pink believes they're the greatest empire, which is fine. I don't think that matters to me at all. Keep grabbing inspirational leader wherever we can. This is the other one. Apparently I failed a quest. I can't imagine what quest is this. Oh, right, the Avenging Army. Yep. Like, when was the last time I got a quest? Okay, 10 Hyperium. That is certainly welcome. 30 Dustwater is very useful. So we just picked up the ability to make those trinkets. Now, that is going to be somewhat constrained by the availability of glass steel. So we actually have bought out the world's supply of glass steel a couple of times. Oh, somebody dumped 100 more on the market. Well, isn't that nice of them? So, what we have gained access to is this thing. Obviously pretty valuable. We're going to need 11 glass steel for each one of those we want to do. Sorry, I'm in 2-hit. I'm going to hit apply. I think we want to keep the approval bands on everywhere. Man, actually, hold on. Back off, back off. Do we need our approval bands? Because we have so many luxury resources running now. Well, first of all, are there any cities below Fervent? There are not. I wish it would show you the actual approval value in the upper right instead of 100. Like, put 100 in parentheses or whatever, but... So this is 90, 135, plus another 40, 175. Minus 75 is... I think that city's actually at exactly 100. This city is at 90... Right, it's going to be the same math in a bunch of places, right? The city tile math is going to be a little bit different. But okay, so we actually do need the armbands. We're holding pretty close on a lot of these cities. Her city's a little happier because of her expansion disapproval reduction. Yeah, she's at 100, 70, 90. She's way above. I guess we could do it case by case. Like, she doesn't need the approval band. This city is... It's a level of optimization that is probably not actually necessary. So this city's at exactly 100. I think I'm just gonna save us a little bit of time and do this in places where people don't have extra approval skills. We could keep the industry band on, I guess, on everyone if we just bought. Yeah, maybe that's a better idea. Keep the industry thing on everybody and then just buy a couple more luxuries. Because every little bit matters. I will say, though, that approval trinket kept us going through some tough times. Okay. So that is the second... Yeah. All right, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. So I need to buy 80 glass steel from the marketplace here. Driving the prices right back up. And that did put us under the amount of dust necessary to rush the Wonder. I think this was more important, maybe? But I should have thought about the fact that I was going to have to do a lot of buying and just finished all the caravanserais, if this was going to be the case. So that is an error for sure. Wait, I'm putting it on the wrong slot. Alright, we're going to have to go back in a second here and make sure that I didn't... How many people did I screw that up on? No, you got it right. You got it right. Okay. It looks like I have the right trinkets, not you. Screwed yours up. Oh no, 11 dust. It's incurring additional costs because of dumb. Because of stupid. I did too much stupid. Okay. So here we're looking at a cost of 81.27. I am not going to be able to generate 2k dust by just selling stuff. So we may as well go ahead and rush out the last of the caravanserais. 10k dust is starting to look a little better. And then I guess we want to put up an Imperial funding somewhere. So where does it make the most sense to do it? We should probably go ahead and just rush this one out. We have enough resources to put another one down. Gogthal is pretty large. Hellcrest already has one, right? Yeah. The capital already has one. No, the capital does not already have one. Well, that is definitely a thing that is worth spending some dust on. And then we could definitely buy the titanium to get another one started. Okay. Then we need more districts in Chadun. So I'm hoping for another good long summer here. Or at least, if we get a short summer, also a short winter. Did I... Yes, we did vote on these. Okay. Did I manage to... Did I remember to manipulate the winter results? This quest army is a little bit tougher. And this dredge is not really outfitted ideally for combat. I'm going to just fix that. Spend a little bit of dust here to make this dude better at his job, because I would love it if we could just run through all of these nerds. That honestly should be enough to make him pretty powerful. Pretty powerful relative to a minor faction. I didn't actually hit retrofit is the thing there. So that's not ideal. Whatever. It got me a level. It got me a level. That's fine. I should probably, yeah, hit retrofit. That's the thing that should happen. The good news is that most of the ruins down here were already searched. So we'll just get this guy back in action and he can come finish up down there. A silly error. Probably not a huge deal. Especially given that the individual ruin searches are not super meaningful. But still, a silly error to have made. Alright, everybody's continuing to do things that are important for the cause. We could rush this out because we're going to get more than enough dust from the end of the turn here to finish things. And then you actually don't have a good thing to build now. Well, I suppose we could just build a lumber mill. It is of non-zero value. It does cost us some titanium. Yeah, just build it. It's fine. We really need a lot of titanium. You go through a lot of titanium and glass steel over the course of a game. Is this the last? Yeah, this is the last research before the next era. So in 2 turns, we're going to need to have a huge amount of resources available. Let's make some decisions with that in mind. I kind of want to save... Oh, right. I got to remember to make sure we're staying fervent, too. Not just make sure we're staying fervent, though. I also should be trying to maintain a not empire-wide fervent. I should be trying to maintain fervency in each city. So it looks like we could use a little booster. Well, hold on. Or spend a bunch of dust in a silly way. How do I get over here? Let's make sure we actually hit this button. Alright, this city needs to get to 12 population, and we need to get a little bit more dust going. It is growing pretty slowly, as you might imagine. So how do I want to get you leveled up? You do that... Let me a burrow. I know, science buildings, but hold on. I don't want to commit a whole bunch of dust to buying things. I want to try to bank as much dust as possible here before this coming turn. The delivering staff. Hey, that's a pretty good staff. Sometimes, from a distance, it lets you just click on the ruin and do this. Sometimes you have to wait until you're actually next to it. You know what? The difference might be actually having vision of the ruin when you start the order. And then there's not a lot of stuff to do in the middle of the territory, so I think we can just get in the water. And over here, more burrows. keep building for approval for the moment. Because there actually isn't a big build for resources anyway. And leveling up your districts does give resources in addition to the approval. Not like it's just a move to keep my approval high. Okay, so I would like to run one more booster. All these cities are close, right? 85, 85. Yeah, so all of these cities would be fervent with a single small luxury booster. Oh, there's a bunch of Dust Orchid on the market. That's interesting. Who's selling that? Blue. Okay. Maybe we need to talk to Blue. Oh, there's a bunch of wine. And it's really cheap, too. But Dust Orchid would be a way better way to go about this. Unfortunately, there's just barely not enough. So let's go have a chat with Blue. Right, I would have to get peace from them first. And they don't actually have any spare Dust Orchid for trade. And they sold an amount to the market that is a multiple of 5. So it's possible that they don't get any Dust Orchid naturally, that this was a quest reward that they got. Yeah, there might just not be enough. There might not be Dust Orchid in the world. Because on 6 players, you do not get all of the resources. Well, let's buy Red Sang instead of wine. Because it's enough approval to push us over, and also it has some effect. We're going to get Hydromiel running eventually, but I don't think it's as good as Red Sang right now. As we continue to buy things out, our heroes are going to keep getting like large bunches of XP. Also, this stuff is a little cheaper. Okay. So this stuff is all under control. Are there more ruins to search? Oh, there's this at least. Man, I wish we had more pearls. We could trade for pearls, I suppose. There's still like 1 or 2 deposits of a single pearl to pick up. Oh, actually, there's a ruin over here. We can do that next turn. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, wait, what am I thinking? I don't need to save dust for this turn. I need to save dust for the turn when we finish Town Criers. What are these? Are these important? Be the first to complete 25 quests. Hey, surprise, the AI doesn't really do quests, so of course I'm ahead on that. This would be great. Be the first to have a city with 15 districts. I am not leading, and I am not close. Be the first to have 50 of each strategic in order to... Ooh, wow. Benevolent Emperor would be really good to have. Actually, hold on. Can I make that happen? 50 of each strategic is going to be a little tricky. Okay. I got to pay a little bit more attention. I didn't even realize that that was on the table, but we need that, right? Obviously. So, we got to watch the Titania or the Mithrite and Hyperium markets and make that happen as quickly as possible. We got to trade Hyperium off of other players, maybe. It's going to take forever for us to get the Hyperium ourselves. The Mithrite's available. I kind of want to just buy it right now. Just thinking that, like, if one of the other AIs decides to go for this, I don't want them to be able to purchase the Mithrite out from under me. Okay. And where are we at? Let's make sure that we're still cool on influence. We are going to receive 6 more... Yeah, we're good. We're good. 6 more turns of 486 influence each is enough. So we're currently at 12k dust output. That's better. That's getting closer. Getting closer to a real number. Okay, so let's get our Hyperium extractors bought up. We gotta make that happen. I have strong feelings about it now, all of a sudden. The die has run out, but it turns out we have lots more. Even more dust trickery. It's a beautiful thing. Where is Duke Weybridge relative to all of the other stuff we have going on? Because if he's in a city that has low dust output, we could move him. Oh, did he get... He got more than one skill point. Okay, well. So he's in Hellcrest. Hellcrest is currently not producing as much dust as Sayagor, although it's close. But part of the value of Sayagor is that it has all that population. So Syria Lastra is very effective there, but swapping them could be really valuable, because that city is also the one that has the dust transmuter. So do we have a good readout of plus water booster, hero capacity, plus 294 from hero skill? Yeah, he should get swapped up there, right? This is the most valuable region. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how much we're going to lose. Because it's some portion of the dust per citizen. Yeah, he should be swapped. Okay, Sagor and Hellcrest have to switch their governors. This goes from 1956 to 2007. It's actually an increase. That doesn't... Really? Doesn't seem right. And this went to 2154. Yeah, that was a gain. It really had that much of an effect. It's like, I know we have the relic here, too. It probably doesn't matter a huge amount. We just need one of them to be in each of those two cities. Okay, so let's build ourselves some alchemy labs and whatnot. Here we need to rush out a hydromiel extractor would not be a bad idea, but we also need this hyperium extractor. Hey, how about I just buy myself some titanium? I sense that we're going to need it. Where else do we have Hyperium? Built that one, we built that one. Avrama needs their extractor. I was not thinking of Hyperium as a super high value resource. Because it sort of wasn't, right? We only had a couple of things that we really needed it for. Start bringing the hydromiel in quickly as well, I guess. Hydromiel extractors are unfortunately made out of glass steel, which we do also need to have a lot of. Okay, and then burrows. We need lots and lots of burrows. We have so very many things to build. Good to be in a position where you have a lot of stuff to do, though, you know? There we go. A little difficult to move into the spaces directly above a city name tag. Alright, is there another ruin that needs to be searched before the end of the eclipse? I think we got them all. Alright, so let's go get those little tiny pearl deposits that are still valuable to us. And without question, 2 moves are Town Criers and Improved Dust Alchemies, but I don't actually know which one is which. Probably like that, and then that to ease our pain a little bit. And then this and this. Oh no, this one doesn't provide dust. Never mind, I don't need that, but I do need this one. Actually, we probably don't need state-approved theater. Because we're actually managing to hold fine on approval right now. And every place we build Imperial News Network in is going to get an additional 20 approval. Yeah, we don't need this at all. We do need Enlightened Trade. And then we probably will go with cheap techs after that to get to the 9 techs we need to make this work out. Gotta get to dust-driven distillery eventually. Alright, here we need... Yeah, science is good. I'm down with science. Just sort of in a general sense. We should build a cryometric monitor somewhere. So let's buy ourselves another 20 titanium real quick. We want to put this up, and then we also want to build a cryometric monitor. Well, it cares about anomalies, right? So what city has the most anomalies? Hellcrest is in a pretty good place. They're at has 4. Hellcrest has 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it doesn't much matter where we do it. Hellcrest is not that likely to pick up another. Their at is on 1, 2, 3, 4, with another one actually very easy to get. So yeah, we'll do it here then. And for some reason I thought it was only 10. And in fact it is 15 more titanium. And then, man, we still... I need so much titanium. You know what? We're going to have a hard time getting to 50 titanium if I'm not careful. I'm trying not to buy out resources that I think will naturally hit the numbers of. Because Mithrite really is the thing that matters... Or, Hyperium, rather. Really is the thing that matters the most. But I mean, like, everybody's making titanium. There will be more titanium. Let's just prove to everybody that there's lots of demand. And then do that. So we're going to be a little bit above where we need to be on influence. We have enough influence to make another deal. And actually, being at peace with Pink would probably be a good idea. Reasons: last war. You're leery because you previously declared war on me? The depths of the crazy there. That's so much crazy. So I'd love to trade some Palladium or some Hyperium off of you during this deal, and then I'll just like give you a good tech, an okay tech. Like, how much Hyperium can we actually get? 4. 6. 6 is the math number. When you are on 5 and you hit plus, it does not go to 4. It goes to 6. Well, I guess I'll take this deal right now. Just to make sure that there's not another war. That gets me a little closer. We're going to have to make some big negotiations to actually get this. And trading resources off of other people is valuable in the sense that it helps keep them from getting to it. But it seems like Hyperium is going to be the stumbling block for everybody. We're going to be at 5 Hyperium per turn after we hit end turn here. Yeah, I can't believe I just stopped looking at the legendary deeds. That's bad play. Don't do that. Don't do what I did, because I am playing the role of Donnie Don't. My rank, 5th. Lots of other people have 50 of at least something. Probably because they're not burning their glass, steel, and titanium down to the down absolutely to the wick every time. Alright, let's see how close we can get this turn. And also, let's do a little bit of influence math, because I am terrified I'm going to screw this up. 526 4 more times leads to me having at least 5,300. That's just like leaving some numbers off. And 52 something was the number I actually needed, right? Although, this would be cool, and it's looking more and more doable. Oh, the dust water ran out. Well, that is unacceptable. We got to fix that one. Produce an influence. Oh, you had multiple skill points there. And then I guess we're going to do the same thing with you that we did with the other guy. That was like a lot of skill points. We did buy a ton of stuff in his city. So this is Exid. Exid gets tools of the enemy. Hey. Okay, there we go. Yep, and that's the other point for Namkang. Okay. We have a lot of cities to buff. I'm going to need the 50... I'm going to need to start spending the 50 Mithrite next turn, ideally. So we gotta try to make this happen this turn, is what I'm thinking. First of all, let's have people like actually do their movements. Do you want to come down here and get these sea ruins? We're now at peace with Pink, so this is a lot safer than it was just moments ago. Alright, so from the market we can acquire no Hyperium, but enough titanium and glass steel, and adamantium and palladium. So let's start with that. We need this much palladium, this much adamantium, I need 3 packets of glass steel, please. They sell them in packets, obviously. Okay, now we gotta find 40 Hyperium in trade, and then we have to move citizens around such that we still make our influence goal. Alright, you had quite a bit. Here's the deal. I need a lot of it. What do we have to do to make this work? I mean, that's a lot of influence, but it does do the job. Let's see if we can get any progress anywhere else. Actually, hold on. Let's put enough text on here that I can actually see the bar, see the end of the bar, so that I know how much he's willing to trade for stuff. He'd make big moves for our Mithrite, which is probably not a big surprise to anybody. Honestly, he doesn't care that much about most of the stuff we have. And he considers map exchanges to be negative, so I think we're just going to have to give him good tech. This is the only way we're doing it. And then we could probably get... Yeah, we could get here from Dust, so that'll save us 100-something influence. But this is like... This is very, very worth the lost Dust. That's right, what we're paying here, really, what am I doing? Like, that's gonna take all day. What we're losing here is Dust, right? Because we're going to have to pull some people off of Dust to make the influence thing work. We can, without question, make the influence thing work. It's just a matter of how much Dust we have to lose. But we're talking about losing some Dust in order to secure a building that doubles the Dust output of our cities. Okay, he took it, so we are now at 50 of everything. Oh, I guess I didn't have to go to 50 of everything because it doesn't check until the beginning of next turn anyway. So I overspent a little bit there. Ah, well. 30 dust water is necessary to keep the dust water running. And also to keep all of our cities at peak approval. The hydromiel is coming in now. Do we have enough dust to make that happen faster? We totally do. I don't know if I care enough. What's my total hero upkeep? Is there an easy way? Hero upkeep is 491. So it's going to save me almost 250 dust per turn to be running that booster. And the cost of that booster is going to be in the neighborhood of probably 800 or 900 gold. Or 800 or 900 dust. Because remember, the cost is going to increase sharply as we buy these. So it's positive as long as we can afford to do it. So we should do it. We have been running our dust down to the hilt a lot of these turns, which is a good sign. You wanna be spending your resources. Okay, and then we probably won't have to. We won't have to buy another one ever again because the rate of our hydromiel income is sufficient to hold us. That is also true of grass silk. In fact, in 2 turns when this booster runs out, we will be at 103 grass silk, which means that we could afford to sell 43 grass silk right now. Is this stuff... the price is okay. Alright, so now we need to commit some buildings without spending a bunch of strategics. It's very important. Any strategic we spend, we must be able to replace. So it'd be a really good turn to commit a whole bunch of burrows. In fact, that's right. Almost all of those builds were Therat because I bought out a ton of stuff in Therat. All right, now the final thing we do before we hit end turn and seg into a very wonderful phase of our empire's future is I got to make sure we're cool on influence. So we're looking at 52 or 57. Right now, we're going to end up with another 2,200 at 4.8. So this number, I need to gain at least 400 more than that, right? So this number needs to be 650 something. Hold on. 5280. So really, we got to be 5,300. So, man, my brain. We need 2,700 more influence over the next 4 turns. We're going to end up short about 500 now. So this number needs to be like 675, close to 700, really. So the good news is there's lots and lots of places where we're good at doing the thing. We could pull... Where is my cultist? And actually, this is important to know anyway, because his city is now... He's in Geneldas right now. That might change. We might need to change that. Because we can boot him to a place with higher population, right? Not really, though. Satasa needs to be in a coastal city, but we could just swap the two of them. So this is 12 pop versus 9. We could take you to Miranlar. Feeds on Bones really wants to be... Actually, Feeds on Bones isn't providing a huge amount of value anymore because of the fact that we're no longer focused on food, and slavery only increases your food gain from citizens. So we could just pop... we could pop Exit over here. Yeah, let's do that. He'll make this city real good. And then you get to be the governor of Geneldas, which is like... It's kind of whatever. Alright, and then in Miranlar, we move everybody over to Influence temporarily. 721 means that we are going to be producing about a little less than 2,900 influence over the next few turns, which almost gets me to the higher level of influence. We could take a little bit more of a hit, right? Like, what if we did this? That's going to be 3,200 plus another 240. 3,400 gets me to 6k, which is not necessary. That's more than we need. But we'll adjust it on the turn right before the Empire plan. But yeah, so this is enough influence to allow us to do that. Keep our building cost reduction. Keep our approval bonus, which I think is important because we are just barely fervent in some of our cities. I guess it'll be less important once we get the Imperial News Network up, but yeah, not bad. And real quick, 2,788 dust incoming on the trade routes. Stuff matters, man. Trade routes are powerful. All right, let's hit thing here and get our rewards. And then we have a lot of stuff to spend dust on over the next few turns. Getting Town Criers completed, getting the Benevolent Emperor bonus completed. Just a lot to spend on. I'm feeling good about our rate of increase here. We've only doubled our dust output over the episode, and that isn't enough, frankly. But we've gained a lot of other capabilities as well. Definitely going to get that plus 10% dust from you. And then... let's talk about this new stuff. So, we gained Town Criers, which is great, also expensive. We can only build 5 of them with the amount of Mithrite we have on us right now, but look at how much dust that is. We also gained the Benevolent Emperor, which is only 804 industry. That's it. That's all it costs. It's cheaper than Town Criers in that way, and also it has no strategics. So, we're actually going to build these first. Rushing these is the priority. I want to see one of these rushed in the queue of every single city. We'll figure out all of our other stuff later. I guess we're not going to have enough dust to do this everywhere, are we? So I should be sorting by dust the positions where we're doing this. Although, actually, a lot of our cities are kind of at the same amount of dust production after you get past the initial, or the first big couple. All right, that's just about everything. Then, we want to put, at the very least, put it in the queue everywhere. I think we can go ahead and finish that alchemy lab, the burrows, yeah, all that stuff is fine. Alright, dust booster's running. We are fervent. We're producing 5.9k dust all of a sudden. Where did all my dust go? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Well, it looks like we should still have trade routes with green. Yeah, we still have trade routes with green. But all of a sudden, they're all producing 0 dust. So I'm thinking what's happening here is probably a display bug. Because if these trade routes were actually producing 0 dust, they would have been changed. Oh, you know what's probably happening? I bet Herkuf is being blockaded. Oof. Well, unfortunately, I don't think there's a way for me to tell Blue to back off. I don't think we can... you can ask another faction... You can ask a faction to declare war on another faction on your behalf. I do not believe you can ask them to stop being at war on your behalf. And then I guess we just go back to Saegor to chill in the garrison. Yeah, I think we might just be out of luck on our trading partner there. I mean, obviously, it'll readjust. He has other cities. We will start trading with Graldem or whatever. The cargo dock that we're using as entrance to their empire is in Vanaren, so it's safe for a long time. But we're going to see the numbers kind of bouncing back and forth pretty badly here. Has anybody else actually built a cargo dock anywhere? You could have, but haven't. Does Pink have the cargo dock tech? Yes, he does. I cannot give it to him, so he has it. Well, we get your maps by any chance? It might be that we can't trade. We love Mithrite, obviously. We trade a bunch of our Palladian. I don't think we actually need this. An 86 influence should not be enough to screw with our numbers here. Let me see all of your empire. I'm not sure if it matters or not, but it may be the case that you can't trade with someone's dock unless you can see it. Okay, he has the ability to build a cargo dock, he just hasn't. This is normal ocean exploitation. It'd be cool if he did, because I'd love to trade with him. Red has proper cargo docks. We get peace. Just give him any technology. Okay, 284 is a little harsher, but it'll still be fine. We'll still be good on influence. Okay, so we can run trade routes to red instead of green. That should help fix up our trade route income. This number is not going to recalculate for us until the next turn, but I think we're okay. It was a scary moment there. I was worried. Hopefully we will not actually only pull 6k dust this turn, because I really need... we got to push the town criers, and I need a lot of dust. I don't think we actually need all this Hyperium. I think we can probably sell this or trade it. We actually did only get the 5.9k. Ugh. Trade routes, man. They're so valuable. We need our trade routes to be good. Now we're getting no money from trade routes, apparently. This came to an end, so we'll relaunch that. It's got to calculate the trade route values for the turn here. Come on. There we go. Okay, 1711. We're back up to like a real number here, but it's unfortunate that that went that way. And blue is on 2 technology. Oh, wow, we're going to lose. The game is probably not winnable. That doesn't... We might not lose. See, so I'm running all my trade routes internally now. Hey, wait a second. If I'm able to get all of my trade routes to be valuable internally, then why the heck did I have a turn there where I got no money from my trade routes? That shouldn't fire that way. The fact that my trade routes got disrupted during the turn meant that I got no income from them on the next turn. That seems wrong and very damaging to us. So I think I'm going to take this, because I think you can only have trade routes with somebody if you have open borders with them. And this doesn't hurt me, and it doesn't actually really help them. It's pretty much just beneficial to me. Okay, more dust. Always more dust. But yeah, I'm concerned that blue's going to win the game in like 5 turns. It's totally not something I can do anything about, really. We certainly can't get over there and declare war on him. We haven't given blue any tech. We've given lots... Oh, he has 2 skill points. We've given lots of people tech, but we haven't given blue any tech, so it's not my fault. But we may just not be able to stop them from winning. Okay, yeah, that's right. I already spent both your skill points. We're gaining a lot of dust production. Alright, so I popped the booster already. Hey look, we did it. 30 Titan Bones. Also, 150 dust. Man, what a nice, easy quest. I wish all quests were that easy. Alright, let's definitely make sure that all of these get rushed. Where were the places? There were some places where I was building something else on top of it. Yeah, here. And here. Okay. Now we're talking about town criers. It's just town criers everywhere. So, once again, we want to sort this by dust and be producing the dust in the, or be producing the town criers in the places that are making the most dust. It really, really sucks that we don't have the ability to rush any of these due to the, due to shenanigans with our trade routes. Let's see, we need 25 glass steel per one of these, so we need to have at least 75 glass steel to finish assigning stuff here. A little short. Okay. Do wish it would remember your sort. Definitely more important. Here we can let the alchemy lab finish, that's fine. And then we'll do this. Okay, well, each one of those is going to cost us 3,100 dust. So we'll be able to rush all 4 of them next turn. Well, there's 5. We'll be able to rush these 4 next turn. Oof. We're in a rough spot here, man. The time pressure is significantly greater than I had realized. It's going to be a real problem. Is it more important to get the Imperial funding up or another... It's probably the science. The science is more important. So it's not possible for us to guarantee that we will win the game anymore. I think that Blue is probably going to win the game whenever they feel like it, but whenever they feel like it is sometimes a long time away from the fastest time it can be. The AI screws around sometimes. So basically, all of our hopes right now are riding on us continuing to play our game as tightly as we can, and Blue screwing around a lot. Or maybe getting killed by all of the other players simultaneously. Hey, can we maybe convince everyone else in the game to go to war with Blue? You will not go to war with Blue. It won't happen. Why? Because you're already at war with Blue. Never mind. We get Red to go to war with Blue? Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you declared... Oh boy, he's not interested in doing that. He's really not interested in doing that. Okay, I guess that's not happening. But 2 people are at war with Blue. Hopefully they can make some kind of progress. It seems like he has not only held, but actually pushed into Green's territory, but Green's continuing to expand. If the 2 of them together are able to do enough damage... God, look at this city! Holy crap! His empire is large and terrifying. Okay, yeah, if the 2 of them together are able to do enough damage, we might still be in this, but it's hard to imagine that we can win if Blue actually beelines the victory. So we're just going to hope that they don't do that. Anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if that thing that I just said happens or not. And we'll see you then.